Welcome, schoolgirls, to the Tolan Ticket, featuring the big fella and priest mode.
Hey guys, it's week 2. We are live at Arrowhead Stadium. Thursday night football. I won't release this though till Friday night.
It's 4 p.m., 3.5 hours before kickoff. The stadium is packed. Food is a-grillin'. Smells amazing. Beers are a-flowing.
The big fella's sweating everywhere. What else is new?
Girls are wearing tight underwear, and we love it.
I'm popping wood around every corner.
So let's talk our cast real quick here. What are we talking today?
Well, week 2, daily fantasy showdown, DFS, DraftKings, and FanDuel. We're going to talk about who to play.
All right, so let's start with quarterbacks. Or are you going to start with our value picks? Let's do
value at the end, right?
Or value at the end. All right, so quarterbacks this week we got Tannehill, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Andrew Luck, and Ben Roethlisberger.
Yep.
We'll discuss each of those. Tolan, tell me why we like Ryan Tannehill.
I like Tannehill a lot. Going against the Jaguars, you got to move the football. I think I like Luck and Breeze a little more.
True.
But Tannehill's cheaper.
He is.
So,
and he came off a really bad week last week, which I think is kind of a fluke. But if I remember right, last year he almost got benched. Like his first 4 weeks were pretty bad.
He's a slow starter.
He might not like the heat. We don't know yet. But I expect Tannehill against Jacksonville to probably light it up. I like a couple other players on the team, which we'll touch base on later.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning going against the Chiefs, unfortunately, today. I think he's due for at least 3 touchdowns. Now, Chiefs will win, I think, but could we give up 3 touchdowns to Demaryius? And,
don't talk too much about this one.
No, I think it's fun. It's fun.
All right, yeah, it's fun.
3 weeks. It's 3 hours before the game. 4 hours before the game. We're Nostradamus, baby.
They say 3 out of last 5 games, though, for Manning, he has 0 touchdown passes. So I think 3 is that's the best possibility ever. So I expect probably 2, if any.
The reason why is the Chiefs lack. I mean, Peters, I think, is questionable, and if he does, he's a rookie. Manning is going to own his ass.
We're going to stop the run. I think Hillman.
No Anderson, no Hillman. They're doing nothing. It's going to be a pass. They're going to have to pass. Period.
I think the Chiefs can stop the run.
Yeah, Ronnie Hillman, whatever. And then we have Phillip Gaines as our number 2, covering Emmanuel Sanders. I just don't like the matchups as our corners. That's why
I don't like that one.
That's why I think Manning is going to have a decent game.
I think Sanders will have like 8 to 12 catches. He'll be the huge PPR monster.
Yeah.
And we'll see if Manning can connect with Demaryius Thomas deep, but that we'll know tomorrow, I guess.
So then we got Drew Brees going up against the Chiefs.
Brees is playing football. No, they're playing against the Bucs.
That's right, the Bucs.
But see, Brees is like Tannehill. I'm kind of nervous that if the Dolphins and Saints can can get a lead, they might just run it out the whole second half.
Yeah.
That's my only hesitation with them. But they're both fully healthy. Receiving cores are fully healthy. So I do like both of them a lot. And then Andrew Luck, if Hilton doesn't play, I still like him a lot.
Moncrief, Johnson, whoever else
Cleaner, Allen, Duron Carter. They got kind of embarrassed last week.
Yeah, Buffalo's got a good D against them last week. So I mean,
so does New York, but not as good against the pass.
True.
So on Monday night, I think Andrew Luck will explode for probably 325 and at least 2 scores. So
I got him and Breeze in almost every single one of mine.
Yeah, those are the best 2.
And then Ben Roethlisberger, Steelers going against the 49ers. Little question mark. We're not sure what to think about how. Yes, they did hold Minnesota to basically nothing week 1, but Minnesota looked awful.
Oh, the Vikings offense was terrible.
Now, whether that is something to attribute towards the 49ers being good, we don't know yet. We still feel that they have a lot of missing holes, missing a lot of players. So I'm expecting Roethlisberger to probably connect.
Yeah, the Niners will have a decent defense, I think, this year. But it's a must-win for the Steelers. They can't start 0-2.
Yeah.
And I think they'll shut down D'Angelo Williams. So they're going to have to pass the football.
Okay.
Yeah, Roethlisberger, 2 touchdowns, probably 290 passing.
Yeah. So Rashad Jennings, New York Giants, going up against the Cowboys. What do you expect from that?
I'm not as high as Jennings as you are. I think it'll be a gun show and high-scoring affair.
He's their feature back.
But, he will get touches.
I mean, he's cheap.
Yeah,
and he should be on my value list, but I like him as a starter. Maybe because I have him in a couple leagues, but, I mean, 10 or 12 points from him it's worth the money.
Yeah, I think he's a safe play because they have to use him. They won't shy away too much. But I don't know.
So that's my pick, not Tolan's. Okay, so running back Marshawn Lynch, I think we're both in agreement. He's due.
He's due. How many games does he go 2 in a row without scoring?
In his career against the Packers in Seattle, he's got a touchdown every single game. So he's due for a touchdown.
I like that.
And he's played him week 1 where he had 2 touchdowns and 100 and some yards, and he played him in a playoff game where he had 100 and some yards and a touchdown. So
yep,
he's worth the money this week.
Yep, he's a high price point still, but yeah, play him.
And then Lamar Miller we have. Tell me why Lamar Miller.
Well, he had a rough week 1, but they went against the Redskins, who might have the best run defense in football. The big reason to like Miller this week is because once they get up big,
if they get up big,
either
way,
they're playing the Jaguars.
Either way, Miller's hitting the rock a lot.
If it's a close game, they use him to run and they throw the ball to him. But if they get up big, like I expect, they'll use him to run out the clock. And Lamar Miller is poised for a lot of carries.
He needs a pass reception back, so that's good. So
they get 20 carries, maybe six catches. You can get a lot of yards out of that. When he gets 20 or more carries, he dominates.
And we have Justin Forsett.
I never want more of yours, but he's all they have.
He's all they have, exactly. And you're going to have to feed your best player on your offense at that point. So
he's the best receiver, too.
Yeah, is he going to blow up and score you 30? Maybe. But I think he's good. Baltimore, I think.
Raiders, right?
Yeah, the Raiders.
Yeah.
That's another reason. Regardless, I think he's at least he's due for 12 points.
Yeah,
and he's cheap.
Jeremy Hill destroyed them, so
yeah, he's cheap.
I like that play.
Next, we have Jeremy Hill, Cincinnati Bengals. So, explain to me why.
Who do the Bengals have?
I don't have the roster up. I feel like I should know this.
No, you're fine. We did know it. The Bengals have a pretty good matchup, though. I looked at it. Jeremy Hill, he's always used heavily.
Going off a great week.
I don't know. It could be even better this week. They pulled it out, though.
I don't like A.J. Green. I'm not high on him at all.
It just depends on the matchup, and we forgot who they play, so it's not going to work.
So Jeremy Hill, he's good to go.
Jeremy Hill will play well.
Mark Ingram.
I like Ingram a lot. He's just like Lamar Miller in that if they have the lead, they're going to pound the rock with him and just destroy Tampa Bay. So I like Ingram.
Likely will destroy Tampa Bay.
He's likely going to score. If C.J. Spiller doesn't play, he'll be in line for a lot of catches again, too.
Mm-hmm.
He's their number 1 guy.
Touche.
Just like Carlos Hyde, who might be our next running back.
No, it's not. It's Matt Forte. Actually, let's talk Charles.
Forte is pretty obvious.
Let's talk Charles first.
Okay. I don't like Charles this week. You like him?
A little bit. I think he's probably the best player on offense besides Kelsey and Macklin. But regardless, we're going to have to use him.
Yeah.
He's always a prime feature in our offense in every shape or form. Passing.
Yeah.
Everything.
He'll probably get like 70 yards and a touch, but he also can give him 4 or 5 catches, so maybe 15 to 18 points. But I don't think he'll explode. I think the Broncos defense knows him better than most teams, and they're good at controlling him getting outside. But yeah, he's a decent play. I'm not going to risk it on Charles actually this week.
He's kind of pricey, but
I'd take him in one just for fun.
I just don't think the Chiefs are going to go with what has carried them for the past 3 years. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He's worth it. He's consistently performed. So I don't know.
Don't analyze it too much.
Chicago, so we have Matt Forte versus Arizona Cardinals. Tell me why Matt Forte.
Forte, he proved he's the most used running back in football last game.
He's a PPR back.
Yeah, he gets a million catches.
Great for DFS.
The Cardinals actually are a good defense, but they got pretty shredded by Mark Ingram last week, so they're suspect to the run and the passing game. So and Forte he participates in both of those. So he'll have a big game. He's worth the money.
Okay, so tell me why Carlos Hyde. I know you're a huge fan of him.
See, Hyde, the only thing is, I think the 49ers offense is so one-dimensional in that I think when Kaepernick has to pass...
They're going against Pittsburgh.
That's the only problem.
Yeah.
Is that they're going to want to maintain the ball, time of possession. So Hyde is the key to that. So early, he'll get a lot of carries, a lot of looks. But if they're down by 3 or 4 touchdowns, 2 or 3 touchdowns, whatever...
I don't think I'm sold on him, though.
I know, it's only
He's
1
on
week.
my bus list.
It's only 1 week.
I'm not sold on him.
Yeah, but he looked so much faster this last game than last year.
Yeah.
He looks fat and hobbled last year. This game he looked explosive. Adrian Peterson looked slow and old. Hyde looked fresh, young, and bursty.
Bursting with jizz
Bursty.
balls. And then our number 10 is Doug Martin. you're a huge fan of him. I'm coming around to him. He's all Tampa Bay has right now, especially with a rookie quarterback. What's the best thing for a rookie quarterback is a solid running game, and I think he's going to play a huge factor in the game.
But just like last week, if they get down a bunch, like they did against Tennessee, they're going to abandon the running game.
New Orleans.
Oh, I know. They could get down a bunch. So that's why I'm not high on Martin. I'm not starting in any leagues.
Doug Martin could shred them because New Orleans D's not that good.
That's true.
So if the issue is if New Orleans scores a lot of points, Doug Martin's obsolete.
Yeah.
If New Orleans can't figure it out, Doug Martin becomes a huge factor.
So you have a lot of risk involved. It's risk versus reward.
He's cheap.
Oh, exactly. But I wouldn't take Hyde and Martin.
No.
Because you don't want to have two guys with huge potential for not getting the ball.
Exactly.
Take one risk player, not like 3 or 4.
All right, so let's move on to wide receivers. You have Odell Beckham Jr. Obviously,
I look for a bounce back. I mean, if he has back-to-back 6-point games, then something's wrong.
Well, I know. I mean,
no bounce back. 7 catches,
Atlanta,
90 yards, touchdown.
I mean, going against Atlanta.
They seemed to break down. They couldn't contain Jordan Matthews at the end against the Eagles. They seemed to break down as the game progressed.
was throwing the ball and was lighting them up in the second half.
Exactly.
And they got tired. So I think Odell Beckham's poised for a baller week, per se.
I think he'll have a big week. And then especially if Victor Cruz is still out.
Then we're going to go with Larry Fitzgerald. These are in no particular order. These are just kind of like guys we've thought about. So Larry Fitzgerald obviously was the feature wide receiver.
Yeah.
You could tell he got all the targets, got all the receptions. Doesn't trust John Brown.
Well, Brown got a lot of looks too.
Floyd back?
Yeah, Floyd only got like 1 catch though. Yeah. But Brown got a lot of targets. He'll still be the underneath guy, but I think Fitzgerald's due for a touchdown. And that's why I have him in a lot of lineups. I think he's due for a score.
And the issue is with Arizona, Arrington's out, so now they're going to have to Johnson
Ellington.
Ellington. Sorry,
yeah,
and then Chris Johnson's in the game, and then what's their other guy?
David Johnson. Rookie.
So 2 Johnsons are their feature backs right now.
They're going to have to pass. Those guys might not be effective.
Palmer could be a strong play as well. He's cheap. We'll talk with him later in the value picks.
Floyd's 100%, and he could be.
They're going to get Chicago. So,
who looked pretty good for a half, but the second half, Packers came back. But yeah, the jury's still out on the Bears defense.
I agree. All right, so our third wide receiver is Antonio Brown. He's worth every fucking dollar.
Football Brown.
Every single game, worth every single dollar, no matter what it is at this point.
Especially with Martavis Bryant out. Where is Roethlisberger going to go? We saw Hayward Bay and Wheaton, how inconsistent they were.
Bell's out too, still
Bell's
suspended.
Still out.
I mean, Antonio Brown, I have him in every single one of my lineups.
I want to put him in mine now.
The money.
And I think with Julio Jones' hamstring thing being tweaked, I think this week you go Antonio Brown. Last week I had Jones and all of them. It paid off. This week I'll probably go Brown and almost all of them.
San Francisco D, we're suspect of that still. We're not sure what they offer. So
yeah, but let's be honest. The Vikings don't have anyone close to the talent level of Antonio Brown. So I'm willing to roll the dice.
So Brown in all your lineups, pay the money, it's worth it. All right.
Yeah, I like Ingram and Brown in most of my lineups, like 90% of my lineups.
And then I have Pierre Garçon this week, Washington.
Yeah, he's yours.
Obviously, we know losing Jackson is huge for their team.
Yeah.
Now Alfred Morris, we still don't. I kind of like him. I don't have him as a good play this week, but.
Well, they have to use someone in the passing game.
Well,
they
exactly.
have Garcon, and they have like a new guy, Ryan Grant.
Going against the Rams, though. So that's the only hiccup on that. But he's cheap.
And the Rams actually could be a legitimate offense and get a big lead, and then Cousins is going to have to pass.
Yeah, he's so cheap. He's so cheap, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the number 1 wide receiver for that team. The only real threat for that team.
I don't like Morris at all in that game. I think the Rams defense will come to play.
Yeah, you don't want Morris against the Rams.
And the Rams defense is a great play this week.
Yeah. So, and in all odds, this is more of a value pick opposed to a must start. And here's why.
Yeah,
so,
he's cheap as hell.
Yeah,
he's still a smart play.
He's cheap.
Could be a savvy pick.
And I have Julian Edelman. Last week.
Yeah. He's always.
Wow. So they're going against Buffalo.
Yeah, but see, Buffalo's got some shutdown corners, but underneath they're going to have linebackers and nickelbacks covering Edelman. And that's Brady's security blanket. So on DraftKings, he's a guy you still want to play probably. But he's still going to get 8 to 10 catches. He might only get 50, 60 yards, but that's still 15 to 16 points.
Him and Brown are worth the money.
Yeah, almost every
opinion.
week. Yeah.
Every week. Because, yes, Gronk is with them, but I think Brady, people are going to learn to shut down Gronk, and they're going to forget about Edelman.
Yeah.
He's just a small little white boy that, they do their thing.
Yeah, last year I looked at some stats. Like, I had some guys I used, like, every week. Every week I packaged Jordy Nelson and Edelman together. I won money. I only used Jordy like 3 times. I should have used him like 20 times.
Yeah.
But you find guys that just contribute every week, stick with them. Julio was my guy this year, but he's got a hamstring, so I'm hesitant this week. But if he comes back strong, he's my guy from now on.
Yeah.
And
I agree. I mean, the issue with Julio's hamstring.
Some guys are worth it. Like last year in FanDuel, Beckham. I had him every week for the last 3 or 4 weeks. I won and placed every single week.
Money.
Yeah, some guys are just worth it.
And I had Boom Heron in the playoffs every single week and won money every single. Like, I don't know why DraftKings and FanDuel didn't get smart and crank his value up.
Let's talk about that really fast, though.
He's obsolete right now.
One of the Colts,
the
Colts cut him. They cut him at the beginning of the year. They also cut Vic Ballard. They're talking about bringing Ahmad Bradshaw back, but how bad is the running game in Indianapolis right now? Like, I don't think Frank Gore's good.
Frank Gore's on my bust list.
Yeah. We both hated him.
Yeah. And he proved it week 1, so I don't know.
I mean, the Bills have a good defense, but I think this week, too, I think Gore's going to look ugly.
All right, so number 6, Demaryius Thomas. Another reason why, obviously, we talked about it.
Yeah.
Manning's due. Demaryius Thomas is going to kill us because we don't have any good. We've already talked about it. Moving on. Demaryius Thomas must start worth the money.
And I don't think he's a must start because I'm nervous about Marcus Peters. But
dude, he's gonna.
I like
pick
him.
him apart, man.
Well, okay.
Manning is gonna fucking shred him.
Yeah, I know. I think the Chiefs, the Homer, the fandom.
You are a Chiefs fan.
It's coming through. The Homerdom.
I do not Homerdom when it comes to money. Something.
Yeah.
So
I just like Marcus Peters, but I think Emmanuel Sanders is the guy who's going to rip us today.
I got them both going.
Because I think Thomas might get the red zone touchdown.
Yeah.
And then Sanders will get a bunch of yards.
I'm going to talk Brandon Cooks.
I think Cooks is due for a big week.
He's due for a big week.
Great connection with Brees. That's a good combo.
But, he's pricey.
He's 74 on FanDuel. I don't know what he is on DraftKings.
For his production last week, I don't know. Seems kind of pricey to me.
Yeah, they have him still price pointed at being a go-to guy.
Yeah.
And last week he wasn't really. I think Brandon Coleman had more targets. So.
And Marcus Colston. Like, come on.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Colston, he sucked too. But,
so Jordan Matthews. Why do you like Jordan Matthews? Matchup this week against the Giants.
I mean, you saw how we talked. He was my guy I had in the top 10, I think, at receivers.
Yeah.
Before the year started. I mean, he's just so much better than anything else the Eagles have at receiver.
True. Bradley Cooper.
And even Aguilar. He's kind of a preseason wonder.
Yeah, he was.
We'll see if he can still run routes to the next level. But Jordan Matthews is just so good. They have to use him. He's kind of like Antonio Brown.
And then just like Landry, our next guy. Same thing.
Yeah. Until Devontae Parker comes back, Landry's a really
safe. They paid a lot of money for Stills. Not really worth it right now. So
yeah, I don't trust Stills. Yeah, I love Jarvis Landry. He's like Edelman. He's a black Edelman. He gets a million catches even if he does nothing.
And then Julio Jones. We have him on the list.
Yeah, that was before the hamstring injury.
Well, we knew about the hammy. We knew about the hammy, but I don't know.
I think he'll be fine, probably.
He probably will be fine, but I don't think he's going to put up the 30 points.
Yeah, I'd rather roll with Antonio Brown this week.
Yeah, I agree. No Julio Jones, everything Antonio Brown. It's going to cost you more, but...
But last week I rolled with Brown, Beckham, and I had a lot of 3 receiver lineups. This week I'm going more with just 2 stud receivers, and I have DeAndre Hopkins on there with the Texans. You don't like him, but I think he's Mallett's go-to guy. Love DeAndre Hopkins in week 2.
Okay. So as far as our tight ends go,
we got 5 of them.
Yeah, we got Travis Kelce, Chiefs. We talked about it. Tolan, tell me why you like Travis Kelce.
He's the go-to guy. I think the thing with Kelce, if Aqib Talib is on Macklin, Kelce's going to have a parade. He's going to have just another 2-touchdown game. If Talib is on Kelce, I don't like Kelce anymore. So we'll see where Talib is, because I think Talib can shut him down, just like he shut down Steve Smith last week.
Yeah.
He's fast and he's tall.
And he's from KU.
And he's from Kansas.
So he might be a homer on that one.
No, but he's really good. I mean,
yeah,
he's shut the hell.
He's proved it.
Yeah, I think he can cover Kelce. So I'm just nervous. But if Kelce gets a linebacker or the nickelback, I don't even know who it is anymore, because Chris Harris is
Ward.
Yeah, he's the safety. So if he gets a Ward, he can beat anybody else. But Talib is tall and can jump. So, but I still like Kelce as my number 2 tight end, obviously after Gronk.
Yeah, and we have Martellus Bennett.
Yeah.
Kind of been high on him. I mean, obviously Chicago. Question marks there. Alshon Jeffrey, still a little banged up.
I still
Eddie
love
Royal, horrible last week. Huge bust for me. Bad pick.
Then watch when Cutler plays. When Cutler plays, Bennett scores every other week. So, I mean, he's a favorite target in the end zone. I think after Kelsey and Gronk, he's my number 3 tight end this week. I have him in most formats.
We have Gronk. Let's just talk about him. Why do we like him?
Well, you don't have to talk about him. I mean, he's a guy that he'll probably get a touchdown against the Bills, probably 70, 80 yards.
He's the best tight end in football right now.
I mean, he's like, if you're a safe player, take him. I have him in 0 lineups, though, because I like to take risks.
Exactly.
And find value elsewhere.
Exactly.
But he will step up and be consistent for you.
Gronk is a 50-50 play, for sure.
Of all weeks, though, this is actually, I think, Gronk's worst week. He's got a super high price point, and he's playing the hardest defense in football. Billy's got ribs.
Billy's got some ribs done. He's going to feed us.
We got like 5 minutes to go.
He's
They'll be
going to
done.
feed us from the mouth.
So, yeah, play Gronk if you want, but this is the one week that I will not even consider him because I think the Bills, you know Rex Ryan, man, he watched the game on Thursday night. He wants to shut Gronk down.
So Kobe Fleener, we think
he's my deep sleeper.
He's a deep sleeper.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of these Broncos fans around just throwing bags all over. Just hit me in the leg with the bag because they can't aim.
Fleener's like the league minimum on both sides almost.
Yeah.
And even though Dwayne Allen gets way more snaps, Fleener's capable of catching that 40-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah.
And if he gets one of those and then a couple more catches, he's worth that league minimum.
I agree.
You get 15
I have
points.
him rocking in a couple of them. I went with Escobar, which is on my value list. We'll talk about him a little bit later.
You can talk about him. Oh, yeah, we'll talk about
But we can talk about him now. I mean, Jason Witten's obviously their feature tight end, but with Des Bryant being gone, what do you expect? I mean, how many times has Escobar vultured the touchdowns from Witten?
Yeah,
Witten will get
had a few.
10 receptions, 150 yards, and no touchdowns, but Escobar will get three receptions and a touch.
And who are the Cowboys playing
He's
again?
so cheap. The Giants.
Yeah, that's a shootout.
So, I mean, that's this week's big boy. And then Tyler Eifert. Explain to me why you like
Tyler
him.
Eifert.
Watch me, Nay. Come on, Billy. Nay.
Eifert proved last week, like, a lot of reports in training camp were incorrect when they said, like, so-and-so's unstoppable, so-and-so's uncoverable. Eifert, though, the Bengals said no one could cover him, and they were actually telling the truth because he proved in week 1 no one could cover him. So I don't care who Eifert plays the rest of the year. I think he's one of the most dangerous tight ends in football, and I think after Gronk, after Kelsey, after Martellus Bennett, Eifert's right there at 4 and 5. He's up there.
Okay.
I need a rib.
I'm back. I got some ribs.
I just talked about Eifert. Who's the next guy?
Go grab our rib real quick, and then we'll all run through the values real quick.
And I got a piece.
So our values this week as well. Really like Chris Ivory. He's pretty cheap as well. Doug Martin we talked about. Carson Palmer, Devontae Adams. He didn't really perform last week, so they DraftKings and FanDuel left him about the same price. Ryan Matthews. I mean, he's only 3,600 points. Or dollars, whatever. He's productive. Chip Kelly's offense, I think he's going to be a contributor the entire season. So keep an eye on him. I like Cole Beasley this week a lot. Obviously, has a lot to do.
Beasley.
I think has a lot to do with the fact about Dez being injured, but I don't know. I'm taking a flyer on him. Zach Ertz again with the. Anyway,
Ertz looked awesome, but he had a couple drops.
Broncos guys keep hitting him.
He looks so athletic, and you can tell they want to find him in the end zone. Mm-hmm. They have designed plays for him in the red zone. He just didn't convert them.
No, he didn't. And there's a couple. He actually was the one that was Jordan Matthews. But anyway, so back and we have Kobe Fleener, and of course Sam Bradford again. So the issue with Sam Bradford, until the price point gets high enough, I think that offense is explosive enough that he's going to be worth it.
They're still going to pass the rock.
Exactly. So that's about all we have for one. Unless you want to talk about Ivory and Doug Martin at all. You are talking about Martin.
I like Ivory, but not a lot because they're going to be playing from behind. They're going to have to abandon the run at some point. But he could get a touchdown in 70 yards before because the Colts' run defense looked terrible last week. The Bills had like 3 guys get 50 yards. The quarterback had 43 yards, Tyrod Taylor. So they'll give up some yards in the run, but there's better running back options.
All right. I think we're done with the cast, man. It's 4:18. We got a couple more hours to party for the Chiefs game. Go Chiefs, like I said. I'm predicting Manning for 3 touchdowns.
Mark Ingram, Carlos Hyde, Lamar Miller, big weeks.
All right. Wide receivers, big weeks. Tell me.
Shit. I'm on the spot. Well, all the guys we talked about. I don't know, Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham, those are the easy ones. The hard one, I said it. You don't agree with me, but DeAndre Hopkins. Oh, you think Thomas? We'll see what happens.
We're done.
All right. Live from Arrowhead Stadium, this is the Priest and myself, the big fella. This is the Tolan Ticket. This is fantasy football. Check out our website, tolanticket.com, for all your fantasy needs. It's daily time, son. Broncos Chiefs tonight. We'll see you next week. Good luck. Week 2.
Manning 3 touchdowns, Demarius Thomas 2.
Hey, go ahead and post your best lineups too next week because we only had 2 submissions. So we need more lineups. Go to our Facebook and Twitter page and post your best daily lineups. I'm choking on ribs and drinking beer. Talk to you guys later.